that was the confirming moment for me that I knew that we lost our baby. Hey everybody. Today, I'm sure you saw by the description, is a video that I have much procrastinated making. If you're new here, my name is MommaChummy. If you're going through something similar and that's why you're watching my video, I am wholeheartedly sorry. No one should have to go through this, and it's something incredibly hard and something that happened to me months ago and that I still don't feel like completely okay talking about. So that's why it's taken me so long to make this video. But I want to record this and document this for anyone out there who is experiencing this, or even just for me later. Yeah, so I guess let's dive in. My name is Collie. I have 2 living children. Before any of this happened, they're beautiful. They're the light of my world. You should totally go watch a few of my other videos with them in it because they're amazing. Anyway, let me grab my notes. So, on January 11th of 2020, it may have been on the 10th or the 11th, I randomly threw up. It's not normal, that's not like me. But I wasn't tracking my period at the time, which, stupid me. But I didn't think I was due for my period yet. My husband and I had a lot of personal things going on that were affecting our lives in big ways, aside from moving from Indiana to Florida, because we did that in November of 2020. We made the big move, and our lives completely exploded. Some things I put on here, some things I didn't. If you're curious, go check out, I have a few playlists and videos and stuff. You have plenty of information on what was going on. But yeah, I was really stressed, and I wasn't tracking my period, and I didn't think it was due yet. But my husband told me that I should take a pregnancy test, so I did. So on the 11th, on the 11th, we took a pregnancy test on camera, and that's the video that is on my channel. Sorry, this is random, but I meant to make this video way earlier, but like in the actual daytime. I was going to film it outside, and it was going to be really pretty, but I started playing with the kids because we have this game that we play at bedtime, well, right before bedtime, that we clean up all the toys and make the house look nice and get jammies, brush teeth, like all that stuff. But it ran a little long tonight, and it got dark outside, so I didn't get to film my video. If you want to watch the pregnancy test video, I will link it. I'm not sure which side. I think it's on this side. You can go check it out. It's one of my first-ish videos, so it's kind of raw. But anyway, we were super excited, as you could tell. Unexpected, but super excited. We weren't trying or anything. Yeah, it helped carry us and put a little bit of light in my life, definitely. Yeah, then in February, my husband Travis went with his brother and his dad back up to Indiana to pack up the rest of our things from our house, because we moved so quickly that we didn't bring all of our things. So the day after they got to Indiana. I'm sorry if you hear Elijah talking on the baby monitor. He's not asleep yet. But anyways, I stayed here in Florida at home with the kids and our dog and my sister-in-law. And this was just, okay, weird. This was right after, or like right as COVID stuff was beginning. This was at the end of February. Well, this was mid-February, I guess. But yeah, the day that they got there, that morning, I took a shower and, warning, this is gonna be like graphic. So like, just so you know, don't watch this. If you are triggered by this stuff or anything like that. But that morning I got out of the shower and I had to pee, so I did so, and when I wiped there was blood on the paper, and instantly my heart like sank to my chest, and I was like, what's going on? And I hadn't gone to the doctor yet at this point because we had just moved and we had just, no, I don't think we had even gotten our Medicaid approved yet. Because of all of the stuff going on, everything was weird. So we didn't have insurance yet, so I hadn't gone to the doctor. And I just kind of sat there panicking for a minute. And I didn't know what to do. And then like a whole just whoosh of blood just like all into the toilet, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? Like, I wasn't cramping. Well, I had an idea of what was going on, but I was hoping that wasn't the case. I was hoping it was just random spotting. But yeah, so that happened. So I kept trying to call Travis, but it was like 9 in the morning and he had just driven all night. They got back to Indiana at like 4 or 6 in the morning or something. It was a stupid hour. They drove all night. So they were sleeping, and I kept trying to call him and his dad and his brother, and nobody was answering. So I called my mom, and she talked me down. She told me that whatever's gonna happen is supposed to happen, and God has a plan, and all of these things. But I never started cramping, and the bleeding stopped. Like, I talked to a few people in the family that are in the medical field, and they were like, sometimes that's normal, just keep your feet up, like, if it picks up again, go to the ER, but as long as it doesn't start again, you might be okay. So just kind of chill out, don't stress about it, don't strain yourself too much. So that's what I did, and it tapered off over the next couple of days, and that was it. Like, nothing happened. So Travis got back, and we kept on living our lives. I started looking for a birthing center because I knew I didn't want to do like the doctors and hospital birth this time. I really wanted to go through a birthing center with midwives. So I started looking for some online, and I found one that was like 45 minutes away that seemed really cool. So I made an appointment, and it was Ash Wednesday was the appointment, but I don't remember what day of the year that was. That would probably be helpful though. But yeah, so I made an appointment, and we went, and they were super nice. They gave me a whole tour of the place. I asked if they had like filming regulations. They were like, no, you can film as much as you want. You can film whatever you want. You can post it wherever. We don't care. It was great. I hear someone. Oh yeah, but we had, on the way to the appointment, I forgot to mention this. On the way to the appointment, we had decided not to get gas because we were already running late for my appointment because we had gone to church because it was Ash Wednesday. We had gone to church, and it was like just timed barely that we would make it to the appointment. So we barely made it to the appointment, and we decided not to get gas. We were like, we'll be able to get gas on the way home, it's fine. They had this really old ultrasound machine, like one of the old ones, and they called it Big Bertha. And I don't remember, I feel bad, but I don't remember the midwife's name. She was like the lead midwife. I don't remember. She said this machine was her best friend, and she's done so many ultrasounds on it, and so she was like, you're around 12 weeks. Do you want to hop on the table for like an unofficial just peek at baby? I was like, yeah, duh. So I hopped on the table, and I was super excited. Pulled my shirt up, got all the fixins ready, you know, cold gel, everything. She started doing the ultrasound, and I was hoping that it was because the ultrasound machine was weird, but since I had to have so many ultrasounds with Elijah, I kind of have a good feel for what's supposed to be there. I'll go into Elijah's stuff in a birth story for him, but I had a good feel for what was supposed to be there, especially at 12 weeks. But there was a little gestational sac, little hole, and where, like, you know, you guys, if you guys have been pregnant, like, you know how it's like a black hole, and then there's a little white dot that's like a little bean that's your little baby, and it flickers a little bit with the heartbeat. Yeah, you guys know what it's supposed to look like. It was just a little hole. There was no little bean. And I kind of knew right then that something was wrong, but I was hoping, just because it was the ultrasound machine, that it was just not showing up. And that's what the lady was saying to the midwife. She was like, don't stress about it too much, don't freak out. She was like, this is a really old machine, sometimes it doesn't pick up, so maybe you're a little bit earlier than you thought. But she said by the gestational sac that she was seeing, I was maybe 8 weeks at best. And that just didn't make sense to me from when I got my positive test. So she told me, like, Travis was all gung-ho. He was so excited about this place. He wanted to pay in full, like, for the whole everything. And she was like, hold on, we're gonna do another ultrasound before you get too excited. But they didn't have any openings, like, that day. They were gonna go home, we'll schedule you with the actual ultrasound tech that they had on scene, or on site. But she was busy all day, and they only had one. We started to go home, and we were looking for a gas station because we, like I said, hadn't gotten gas all the way there, like idiots. But we were like halfway home, and my phone rang, and it was the midwife, and she was like, hey, so I talked to my ultrasound tech, and I didn't want you to be stressing out all night, so we made a little bit of space for you. If you can make it back, we can squeeze you in and hopefully ease your mind a little bit. So I was like, fantastic, awesome, thank you, that's amazing. So we turned around. Guys, Travis's car, it has a little thing that tells you with how much gas you have left, how many more miles you can go. Okay. We were at 0 for a while, stuck in traffic, moving nowhere. We literally thought we were gonna have to get out and push the car to who knows where, because we were in the middle of nowhere. Like, the nearest gas station, I think, was like 3 miles away, when we had 6 miles in our tank, I think. Something like that. Something like close, but not ridiculous. Well, then we got stuck in traffic, and traffic, guys, I'm telling you, it was just stopped. It was not moving at all. And we were stopped in traffic up until 0 miles left. And we got, like, we could see the gas station, and we were at 0. So we just were like sitting there panicking, like we had both kids in the car. It was a mess, but the center was so nice that they even had given the kids like brand new cups that we still use, and a couple of toys, and like a hat for baby that I have in her memorial. So they were a little occupied with those, but guys, they're toddlers, so they were like freaking out the whole time, and we were freaking out because we thought we were gonna have to get out and push the car, and I thought I was having a miscarriage already, so I was like, I don't want to push myself even more. So it was just a whole bad situation, but praise be to God, we made it to the gas station somehow. We were at 0 miles left for probably 15 minutes. I'm not joking. But it's because we were idling so slowly, just creeping along, that we made it. So we got to the gas station. This is where I'll probably start crying. Because we got back to the birthing center. And I went into the ultrasound room, and it was real cute. It was, they had like real zen kind of like blankets and hanging on the walls, and like they had a nice couch for the dad, and like it was a really cool place. And the ultrasound tech was very, very sweet. But she started doing the ultrasound. She was trying to keep me calm, but I was obviously shaking the whole time, and my voice was cracking, and it was just all bad. And Travis was just quiet the whole time, trying to keep the kids calm. So we started doing the ultrasound, and we were seeing the same thing, 6 to 8 week gestational sac with nothing in it. So this tech, she looks at me, and I will never forget this. She looks at me and she goes, "Well, do you feel pregnant?" That was the confirming moment for me that I knew that we lost our baby. I looked at her, I was like, I did until you said that. So she sent us to the waiting room, and said she was going to talk to the midwife, and they would talk to us more in a minute. So we went back to the waiting room, and kids were still antsy. I was pretty much already in tears because I knew what was going on. And it felt like they were making us wait for years. But she finally called us in, and she said that I had definitely lost a baby. She said that I could possibly still be pregnant, but it would be with a whole different child. She told me that there was nothing more that they could do for me, and that if everything didn't come away within the next 2 days, to go to the ER, and they would give me an abortion pill to clear everything up. Now guys, I was born and raised and still am Catholic. I don't believe in abortion in any way, shape, or form. And I wanted to believe that my baby was still here. So that was the worst thing she could have told me. And 2 days went by. I think it was a full 2 days and nothing had happened. I still wasn't cramping. Everything seemed normal, so I had hope. Like, everything was fine aside from that ultrasound. Nothing had happened since I was bleeding. I didn't want to go, but Trav convinced me that I needed to go to the ER, just in case, just to figure out what was going on. We went to the ER. This was at the very beginning of COVID, so people were starting to freak out, but it wasn't horrible yet. The ER was empty. There was us. There was a very elderly man with two, I'm assuming they were his wife and his sister or something like that. They were slightly younger than he was, but they were healthier than he was, but I don't know how much younger they were. But he was just there for a routine something or other. The nurses knew him. Oh my gosh, sorry, I'm a mess, guys. This is very raw. But the nurses knew him, so he was there for a routine something or other. So we went into the ER, and we were again waiting for centuries. I should have recorded something just to have some kind of documentation, but I was in shock and I was beyond upset. They finally called me back and they told me they had to draw my blood, and I was obviously visually upset. And these nurses asked me what was wrong, and I told them why I was in the ER, and they literally told me to stop crying because I didn't know what was going on. That's what they told me. You don't know what's happening, so why are you crying about it? That did not help. After doing that, when they were putting my IV in, they put it in my, like, I don't know, I don't really remember, because the bruise that I looked at, no, it had to have been in my elbow, because it was driving me crazy the whole time. It was like right here in the crease of my elbow. And she joked that she could do my IV with her eyes closed. And then she shoved it into my arm really fast. And she messed it up somehow, because I'll put a picture in right here. Guys, look at my arm. The IV was not done correctly. Just wasn't. I went back out in the waiting room after being in with those horrible nurses, and I went back out with Travis, and I waited another century until they called me back to do an internal ultrasound. And Travis wanted to come with me. Up until this point, he had never, for any of my pregnancies, been absent for anything. He was there for everything except for this. They wouldn't let him come. They were very rude about it. They told him that he had to sit where he was. They didn't give him like an option for anything. And then they took me back and hardly talked to me while she was doing the ultrasound. She barely said a word. when she did talk to me, she was very like snooty and just short and rude. Maybe it was just the state of mind that I was in, that I was taking everyone to be so rude. But maybe it was just, or maybe if this hospital actually was just having a horrible night. But everyone that I talked to there was horrible. I finally got done with the internal ultrasound, and again it was the same thing, but she wouldn't tell me any of that. She would just tell me that they would talk to me about my results, and she wouldn't let me see the screen. That was the first ultrasound I've ever been to that I wasn't even allowed to see my own insides. I finally got my own room to wait for all of my results, and the ER doc came in. I don't even remember why he came in. I don't think he even did anything, like medically. But I remember he came in and he asked a few questions. Then he talked about what was going on, and he asked like if I was experiencing any pain or bleeding or anything, and I was like, no, aside from like that last month. It was like a month ago at this point. I was like, not really. And he was like, oh, okay. And he was like, this is your third pregnancy? He was like, I was like, yeah. And he goes, you have enough kids already. Who says that to someone who thinks they're having a miscarriage? You have enough. You already have 2. You're good. You don't need this one. It's fine. You don't need it. What the hell? So that was nice. Then, after he left and did absolutely no good, the actual OBGYN that was on call came in, and this one was a woman. She was slightly kinder. She told me that in no circumstances would I be getting an abortion pill today, because that's not what they do. So that was a relief. She told me, she had my test results actually. She told me that they don't measure progesterone at all, and they did at the maternity, or not the maternity home, at the birthing center. They did. So I had my progesterone levels. Like I had the birthing center send the documents for my last test results. I forgot to tell you guys that they also took my blood at the birthing center, and they cross-referenced my results there with the results that I got at the ER. Now this OBGYN, she was like completely disregarding everything that came from the birthing center. She completely acted like it was not a medical establishment, and they would not accept any information from that, and that she couldn't believe that I would even think about going to a birthing center. I must just be crazy, and this hospital really hated me. But yeah, they didn't measure my progesterone at all, and my HCG levels had gone down. I would look up the levels, but I don't want to. I don't want to. Like in the 2-day span, it had gone down significantly. So that immediately told me, guys, your HCG should never be going down. It just shouldn't. If it is, there's something seriously wrong. But she told me that she wasn't convinced that was going on, and that she wanted me to come back a couple of days later. No, the next day. She wanted me to come back like 2 more times for more blood draws. And I was sitting there like, okay, yeah, I'll be back. I didn't go back. Hell no. After that, I had my answer. My HCG levels had gone down significantly. I knew what was going on. It was just a waiting game until everything decided to come loose. So that brings us to March 1st. Hey, Trap, I just got home. Hey!
What are you doing?
I'm recording my video.
Oh.
Can you see me? My camera lens is really foggy. I can start to see you. Hi. Hello, everyone. Sorry, I keep adjusting. I'm accidentally hitting buttons. That'll work. Okay, so I stopped filming yesterday because wait for the wind to die down a little bit. You can probably still hear me though. But I stopped filming yesterday because Trav got home and he brought me food and I didn't feel like talking about it anymore because it was about to get to the intense part, I guess. I don't know. So I believe it was a Sunday and we had tickets to go to a football game. I'm pretty sure it was a Buccaneers game because, I mean, we live in Florida and it was a home game. So we had tickets and I just had a feeling, a gut-wrenching feeling that something was going to happen that night. So I told everyone that because of COVID, I didn't feel comfortable going to the football game and Travis and I were going to stay home with the kids. So we decided we were going to go get Chipotle for dinner because that's one of my favorite things. I know I'm so basic, but I love Chipotle. So we decided to go to Chipotle and I just started like feeling slightly queasy. Alright, sorry, my father-in-law came out. He said I could keep filming, but I don't think he would have offered if he knew what I was filming about. So where was I? I think we were in Chipotle. Yeah, so we were in the line at Chipotle and I just felt crampy and then I felt just a whoosh. Ladies, y'all know what I mean. And so I went to the restroom and sure enough, it was not a good whoosh. Well, is there a good whoosh? But it was exactly what I expected. There was blood. So I dug an old pad out of my purse that I had, put that in, and I came back out to Trav and I was like, I just started bleeding and I don't feel very good. I was like, can we just skip food and go home? And he was like, of course. So we just left. Wait for the wind to die down. We went home and we just decided to play Borderlands. If you don't know what that is, it's just a video game. So we were just playing Borderlands, just waiting. The kids were in bed at this point. And I was starting to get more uncomfortable, so I decided I wanted to stop playing the game because I couldn't concentrate anymore. So we came outside for some fresh air. And it just kept gearing up, getting more painful, more uncomfortable. And I think I was like, I had my head in Travis' knees. And he was like stroking my hair and he was like, I'm just gonna put you in the shower. We're just gonna go in the house. You're gonna get in the shower and we're gonna deal with it there. Because I was like already crying. And obviously from pain and from just the situation. So he put me in the shower and he curled up with me and we just went through it together. Something they don't tell you, at least they didn't tell me, that you don't have like passing contractions, at least I didn't. It was just like one constant pain. I don't remember much, if I'm being honest. I don't remember a whole lot. I just remember crying and saying that it wouldn't be that bad if I had gotten a break. But there was no break. So yeah, I remember that, and then I remember pushing, and yeah, sorry if that was a little extra, and especially if you're going through it or about to or worried you're going to. I wish I had words to comfort you. I wish I could tell you that it stops hurting, the physical pain goes away. I don't honestly remember like how bad it was now, and that was only a few months ago. Like this is August now, and this happened in March. Well, it was March 1st is when it happened, but you never recover. There's always that sense of loss, and if you think about it too hard, it'll make you cry. But it does get better. It does get easier, and you will want to have kids again. I promise. Travis and I have talked about trying again a couple of times, but I don't think that's in the cards for us just yet. We weren't able to confirm if it was a girl or not. We just, both of us, since the minute we saw the positive test, we were like, this is another girl. This is another girl. We had a name picked out and everything. We still use that name. You guys are sitting on a chair and the wind is blowing, so I'm paranoid that it's gonna blow my camera over. I'll show you guys the memorial that I say I made, but I'm making. It's mostly finished. But yeah, I'll show that to you guys. So that was my story. I feel like there was something else I was going to tell you guys, but it's not in my notes. If any of you are wondering what we did with her, I don't know what to call it, what we did with her, I ordered some Palo Santo wood online, and we did our own little cremation kind of thing. That's what we did. Her ashes are with the memorial. Since she didn't have a fully developed body, I felt comfortable cremating her, even though we're Catholic. I thought that her heavenly form would be way better than anything that could have been in that clump. If you are about to go through this, the only thing that I can tell you that helped me at all is something a couple of people told me, is it's not your fault. And if it's unexplained, don't blame yourself. Because you can't fix it, you can't bring them back, and it wasn't your fault. Sometimes these things just happen, and God has a plan. And the specific thing that helped me was that in that moment, God decided that I needed an angel helping me with their heavenly touch more than I needed another child that needed my care and attention. I was already in a bad place, not physically, but mentally. I was not in the best state of mind. I'm doing much better now. But yeah, so that was the only thing that helped me at all. You just have to feel it. You have to go through it. It's okay to mourn. It's okay to be upset. It is a loss. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. Don't let anyone tell you it's okay. and you shouldn't be upset because you have other children or because you can get pregnant again. You are allowed to be upset. You're allowed to cry. You're allowed to scream. Do whatever you need to do to be able to get through it, because you did have a loss, and that does matter. Thanks you guys for watching. If you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Not all my videos are this depressing, but I felt compelled to share my story. Thanks for watching. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to see more of me and my family. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.